Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to a brand new episode of Extraordinary Talks. And for today's guest, I have someone very, very special that I know that you guys have been requesting for the longest time. So I hope that you guys are finally happy and satisfied because we're about to have a conversation with Michelle Dee, who is currently representing Makati during Miss Universe Philippines 2022. Of course, I have prepared some of the questions that you guys have been sending me, and hopefully, you will find some value in this interview. If you do, please don't forget to support Michelle on her Miss Universe Philippines journey. Also, don't forget to leave a like on this video, subscribe, and leave a comment as well with your impressions about everything that we will talk during this video. So, without further ado, I will introduce you to Michelle right after the intro. Hello. How are you
Hi!
doing, Michelle?
Can I just say your intro is beautiful? Oh
Oh,
my
thank you so
gosh.
much. I appreciate that. I just came with that like on the spot, so
It's so nice. So nice. But
you're
thank you
so
so much
sweet.
for having me. I am so busy nowadays, but I really, really enjoy the whole process, even though we've been busy. But yeah, I'm just so happy to be here to chat with you. So many people have been pushing me towards your channel to kind of like say, hey, you should guest on Luis's page. And that's
Yes.
when I came across your Instagram, and then I saw that you hit me with a message. So I really do hope that we make a lot of people happy today.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm pretty sure. And I'm also myself very excited to talk to you. And I have prepared a little fun interview. So I hope that we will vibe together.
Let's do it.
Well, first of all, before we actually get into like serious questions, let me ask you, how are you doing? How are you feeling with your current journey in Miss Universe Philippines?
Well, I am just so ecstatic with the whole journey. Of course, there's a lot of things happening,
Mhm.
especially with the pre pageant festivities and all of the challenges. But it's been such a, a fun and somehow motivational journey for me because I've learned
Yes.
a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about my creativity, and this platform has really been able to like open those doors for me.
Absolutely. And let me ask you, because this is not your first pageant, of course. We
Mm,
know that you already competed in Miss World previously.
yes.
But what was your reaction when you saw the hype around your comeback and how excited people were to see you compete once again for the title of the Philippines to represent them internationally?
Well, I love the pageant fans here in the Philippines. If you didn't know, it's because of them that I joined Miss World in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had backed out like 3 times in the past. Of
Really?
course, it was expected of me because of my lineage, my mom, my cousins. And at that point, I really couldn't handle the pressure. But it was when I was first on a pageant stage, not for my previous pageant, but for a
Mhm.
different pageant. That's when I really felt the support of all of the Filipinos. And that's what pushed me into saying, hey, if other people believe in me, if so many people that are close to me or who don't even know me believe in my potential, why can't I believe in my potential also?
Mhm.
So that's what really prompted me to start on my pageant journey. And um, during the pandemic, I actually wanted to join, but I was still the reigning Miss World, so that had
Mhm.
to, I had to push that aside. But when I finally announced that I was joining Miss Universe, the oh my gosh, it was just amazing once again to see all of my previous supporters and current supporters really rallying behind me and showing their support. And of course, it's such a feeling that you can't describe because, again, it's because of them that I am doing this. It's
Yes.
not for personal gain or whatsoever. It's really because I want to make my fellow Filipinos proud. And to see them
Absolutely.
believe in me again was just so overwhelming.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And honestly, I mean, from the perspective of someone who is part of the audience, right? Um, just the hype when you decided to join, when the announcement was made, was just crazy. If I show you my DMs right now, it's pretty much like Michelle D interview requests. It's like, please, Louis, come on. So yes, you're giving them exactly what they want.
I can see a few familiar names actually towards the side
Yes.
in the chat.
Actually,
So,
for some reason, for me, like the messages are not populating once again, but I can see them on my YouTube channel. So, hello
okay.
everyone, and thank you for
Hi,
joining us.
everyone.
So I will be taking some of your questions, guys, towards the end of the interview, maybe like two or three questions, nothing complex, but thank you for joining us and for interacting with us. So, Michelle, one of the things that I wanted to kind of like uh, understand the process and how your decision making process will be. So you could have joined at a different time the pageant. So why now, and why Miss Universe precisely? Because there are so
Oh.
many options, right?
Well, one, a big, huge factor was my age.
Yes.
So I am 26, I'm turning 27 this month, and
Mhm.
I believe the age limit for Miss Universe is 28.
28. Yes,
So I
correct.
don't really know what would have happened if I skipped out this year, other
Mhm.
factors of my life, or, you know, just life in general might get in the way of joining next year. Because for this year, it was really, my life kind of like parted like the Red Sea, and suddenly all of my opportunities, and it's like the universe was really pushing me towards this crown,
Yes.
because all of my existing plans early this year kind of like was put on hold,
Mm.
especially when Omicron happened, and then of course the support of other people, and just the fact that Miss Universe is being held earlier than usual. I mean, at least Miss Universe Philippines is being held
Yes.
earlier than usual. It was just like everything was pushing me towards that direction, and if opportunities are there, it's just up to you to take them or not,
Yes.
because you have to hold yourself accountable for the things you do and don't do. And I'm the type of person that actually hates regrets. And of
Hmm.
course, after Miss Universe, I mean, after Miss World, then there's Miss Universe. You don't want to, I didn't want to try on other pageants, one because of the age, and then the timing of the pageant also.
Hmm.
And of course, the supporters of Miss Universe is unorthodox. It's out of this world, and it gives me a bigger platform to really voice out the things that I care about, and my
Yes.
advocacies and my different purposes in life also.
Absolutely. And I feel like although, like both of them, Miss Universe and Miss World, are major, major pageants,
Yes.
they have different platforms and they will allow you to showcase a different side of yourself as well. So it's
Yeah.
going to be a discovery journey for you as well. So I'm excited for
It's
you.
actually very different.
Yeah.
The branding of Miss World and Miss Universe, at
Yes,
least.
exactly. So I wanted to ask you here. So during your journey in Miss World, you did very well. You placed within the top 12. You won several of the categories as well. Like you placed within the tops.
Mhm.
So may I ask you, by the end of that experience in Miss World, did you feel satisfied with your journey? Like some people tell themselves, "Oh, I could have done better," or they just look back and they're like, "I'm proud of myself." So
Right.
how did you feel at that moment?
Well, of course, I am very competitive. So when
Mhm.
you don't win something you were aiming for, of course, there was a lot of sadness and disappointment in myself, rather, not in anyone else, because I am a big sport. So I
Mhm.
respect all of the outcomes or results. But of course, looking back, there are a lot of things that I needed to improve on. But at that point, of course, I gave 200% of myself to really fight for
Yeah.
that crown, both nationally and internationally. So I really wouldn't, say that I regret anything. Everything that happens in our life is a blessing or a lesson.
Mhm.
So what I decided to do is really take those lessons from my previous pageant, realize what my weaknesses are and my strengths are. And since then,
Yeah.
I've been building on that. And I'm really proud to say that the version that I was before and the version that I am now is just a more elevated, bolder, and just more confident and empowered woman that I'm so
Yes.
ready to show all of you.
We're ready. We're ready to see it as well.
I
That's
really hope
amazing.
you can come to the Philippines to
Oh my
watch.
God. I'm really, really trying to make it happen. Honestly, I'm doing everything right now to see if I can make it to the coronation night. But if I cannot make it to the coronation night of Miss Universe Philippines, I will go see you in Miss Universe when you get the crown, girl. Okay, so don't let me down. Get the
I
crown.
hear it's in Paris.
That's what I
I hear
heard.
it's in Paris.
Excited.
By the way,
Excited.
what's your nationality?
I'm actually Cuban, born and raised in Cuba, living in Montreal at the moment.
Oh,
Yes.
that's I've never been to Montreal.
Never? You would
I
love it.
really
We
want.
speak French just like in Paris. Yes. If you ever
It's
visit,
amazing.
let me know. I'll show you around. It's a
I
beautiful, beautiful
will. I
city.
will.
So, precisely talking about your Miss World journey. I mean, it's been a while. It's been a few years. You had time to change, evolve, and just grow as a person, I guess. So I'm gonna show you a photo, and I just want you
Okay.
to
Oh,
tell me
oh my gosh, this is
what do you
making me
see?
nervous.
What happened in the middle of these two photos? Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Oh,
So if you look at yourself back in the days of Miss World, and you look at yourself now, how have you changed as a woman, as a beauty queen, as a human being?
wow. Wow. So much has happened in between.
Mhm.
So from this moment, oh my gosh, one and most obviously, my hair has changed.
Yes.
But in between, of course, after I won Miss World, I mean,
Yeah.
after I won Miss World Philippines, and then I
Yeah.
competed abroad, which was around late December of 2019. None of
Mhm.
us knew that a pandemic was going to happen,
Yeah, that's right.
and a few of my friends and I and supporters actually joke around about my reign being quarantined because because the world just stopped. All of the opportunities that were kind of set in stone for me just stopped.
Mhm.
But again, everything happens for a reason, and I think that was one of the biggest changes in myself was my mindset, that even though there are opportunities lost, there will be more opportunities that will come out from that. And I have really grown in terms of maturity. With experience comes wisdom as well. So I'm just so hungry to really showcase the Philippines, how much more I've improved, how much riskier I can be and bolder. Because the Miss World, as I mentioned earlier, Miss World has a completely different branding
Yeah,
as compared to Miss Universe. And
absolutely.
prior to joining, I was a model. I was already an actress. My dream was actually to become a Victoria's Secret supermodel also.
Mhm.
So you can
Wow,
already see that my personality fits more for Miss Universe
definitely.
than it does for Miss World. But the reason why I joined Miss World was because they're really heavy on advocacies, and I really
Yes.
wanted the platform to give my advocacies a global stage, and I
Mm.
believe I was able to do that. But now for Miss Universe, it's really showing who Michelle Dee is, who what my real true and honest personality is. I'm very fierce, I'm very competitive, and I love just performing and giving other people like a really good show. So I
Absolutely.
think that's one of the key differences between this pageant and this universe Philippines.
For sure. And I feel like it's also a discovery journey for the audience. Like they have never seen you under this, like radically fierce side and more, like empowered women. Because as you said, like Miss World is so heavy on advocacies and all of that, that sometimes they tend to, it's not that that is secondary, but it's that, like they're really focused on the purpose and all of that, right? So, and you still have that in you, right? But now it's just showcasing a different side of who you
Yes.
are as a person. So that's exciting.
I really had to tone down my personality for Miss
Mhm.
World,
Yeah.
because of course there's no swimsuit, and I know that's
Mhm.
one of the biggest things that our pageant fans look for.
Yes.
It's you go there more of an ambassadress, and you're more
Yes.
political, and you're more put together and demure and all of that, and all of which are also part of my personality.
Mhm.
Once upon a time, I wanted to be a politician also, but
Wow.
so the more that life gives me opportunities, the more that I'm able to show everybody the whole package of Michelle D.
Exactly. I love that. I really, really do. Um,
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, so famously, I guess we can say that some beauty queens have successfully crossed over from Miss World, and then
Right.
they ultimately won Miss Universe. We can think of Catriona, we can think of Andrea Meza as well, who just won in 2020.
Mhm.
Um, and because of that, I hear a lot of comparison. because you already competed in Miss World, then now you're going to Miss Universe. They're saying, oh, she's the next one. Do you take this as something like as a positive thing, kind of like a, you know, they're just letting you know that they see the potential in you, or
Mhm.
do you think like it adds pressure to the all of the expectation that already people have of you? How do you feel towards that?
Well, let's talk about pressure. I've had to deal with pressure all of my life, just by joining the pageant, by being an
Yeah.
actress, and really having the same career path as my mom, first and foremost. I don't
Yes.
think any other kind of pressure can beat that pressure growing up and
Mhm.
to execute coming from a business family and a showbiz family.
Mhm.
But like I said earlier, things happen for a reason, and that pressure really molded me on how to speak in public and how to just carry myself. But to touch on the Miss World crossover to the
Mhm.
universe, I think the biggest advantages that we have is because Miss World isn't an easy pageant as well. Yes, we carry the title, but it's more of how that experience helps us for this Miss Universe journey.
Mhm.
Because honestly, if I were to really jot down every difference, there won't
Mhm.
be that much except for the mentality that we all have.
Yes.
I've been I've had the opportunity to talk to Catriona also, and it really boils down to that because as compared to other pageants, it's in terms of course they're all hard and I don't want to take that away from all of the other pageants,
Mhm.
but Miss World is very long. It's a whole month that every day you're working, every day you're fixing up and you're advocating for your purpose, and that's really what I believe, this is my own opinion,
Yes.
gave Andrea and Catriona their advantage because they already know what to expect or what
Mhm.
to improve on for Miss Universe and their
Mhm.
journey for that. I don't necessarily believe there might be this title advantage, but it's really just about how prepared the candidate is and how much more hungrier they are for the other crown.
Absolutely. I love that. And I love that you see that experience kind of as a learning experience rather than,
Yeah.
like you didn't get to the end line or anything like that. No, you went through the entire experience, you learned from it, you grew from it as a
Yes.
person, and now you're taking that and going elsewhere with it. So I
Yes.
love that. Smart girl. So, and sometimes I mean, as well, when people tend to compare so much, they tell you, oh, she's like the next Catriona, she's the next Andrea. Well, I just tell myself, why cannot she be like the next Michelle, right? Like, there's only one of
Oh,
her, and she can create her entire, legacy, branding, whatever it is. Like, I'm pretty sure that it's pretty awesome to be compared to Catriona. No, don't get me wrong,
oh, it's
but
such an honor.
exactly. But you have your own
Right?
path, right? And your own experiences. So they cannot take that away from you.
I think one of the key similarities that Catriona and I have, it's not about the specific titles, but it's the
Mhm.
fact that we're so hungry to prove ourselves and to make our country proud.
Yeah.
And behind all of those titles, it's really that.
Hmm.
So she tried her luck with with Miss World, and just like me, I tried my luck with Miss World also. But why does life have to stop there? Why do you have to stop trying to make your dream come true just by one failure? Of course,
Yes.
there are other opportunities that will present itself, and it's like I said earlier, it's up to you if you're gonna take it or not, because we all have potential. It's just up
Yes.
to us if we're willing to put ourselves under that scrutiny.
I love that. Crown her already. Crown her.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. So, wanted to ask you as well a little bit about your mom. So, Miss
Okay.
Melanie Marquez, I mean, iconic, legendary, beauty queen, show business person, you name it. She has done it all. She was crowned Miss International in 1979. Um, so, when you decided to come back to the competition to Miss World Philippines, uh, how did she support you on your decision, and what was her advice to you?
Oh my gosh. Do you want the good or the bad?
Give me everything.
My mom, she's my biggest fan, but also my biggest critique. I still
Yes.
believe though that I'm my biggest critique, but of
Mm-hmm.
course, mom knows best.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, she is. Um, with Miss World, of course, as my mom, she wasn't satisfied with the results. And
Mhm.
she really pointed out everything that went wrong. She really pointed out what she wants to improve on. So now that I'm joining Miss Universe, which is in retrospect bigger in terms of support here in the Philippines,
Yes.
she was like, ay nako, anak, which means child in Tagalog. You have to work on this, you have to work on that, blah, blah, blah. I want you to get that crown. And of course, we'd had so many quarrels going back and forth, just deciding on what type of gown I should wear, on how my pasarela is, and of course, her specialty is her walk. She's most
Mm,
iconic because of her walk. So she
yes.
has a lot of tips and critiques about that as well. And with comm skills, of course, she leaves that to me because if you've seen her comm skills, it's still iconic. Her answer is still
Yes.
iconic. But I
Exactly.
love the kind of dynamic I have with my mom. She really does support all of my endeavors. And I think her initial reaction when I first told her over the phone, she was ranting about a personal issue. And the way I told her was to distract her from what she was mad about.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like screaming in my ear, like, Anak, da 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 da, you're toot 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 toot. And I was like, hey mom, I have some news for you. I'm joining Miss Universe Philippines. And it totally just shifted her mood. And to from negative to positive, of course.
I can imagine the excitement, and at the same time, I think that you're lucky because, of course,
Of-
it's a good thing that she keeps it real with you and she gives you the good and the bad, as you say,
yes.
but also that you have someone that is such a cheerleader for you and that is there for the entire process and to guide you and kind of like give you advice and make sure that you don't make mistakes that perhaps she has
Mhm.
seen before, right? So
I think growing up with somebody like my mom, it
yeah.
really opened my eyes to how the industry is.
Hmm.
Of course, a lot of the audience they think it's all glitz and glam and it's easy,
Yeah.
but I've seen her prepare for Mrs. World. I think
Yeah. Hmm.
right after she gave birth, so I saw the type of struggle earlier on that it takes to become a beauty queen.
Yes.
And of course, I also saw the reality of show business and pageantry and all of that. But it was also then that I realized how much influence she had to do good.
Hmm.
Because similar to me, advocacies are so big to us. So every time she has an opportunity to really do good, she takes it. And even when I was young, I was so blessed to be born in a prominent family. But she really made my sister and I and the rest of my siblings do good. Like if you have something, give back, give back,
Hmm.
give back. And
I love that. It's a beautiful message to put out there and such a great role model as well, right? Because you got all the discipline, all the values, and everything that comes with that from her. So, well, and the rest of the family as well. Let's not take credit from everyone else.
of course.
All right. So, talking about advocacies and all of the things that come as well with the pageants, because nowadays pageants are not really about just beauty anymore, right? You need a
Yes.
lot of course, you need like the facial and physical beauty, but you also need soul. You need a lot of purpose as well.
Mhm.
So, would you please tell us a little bit about your advocacy and what is it that you're using this platform to bring awareness to?
Well, I grew up with two autistic siblings, and
Hmm.
that's why I really advocate for autism awareness. I
Yes.
work with Autism Society Philippines, and we're the biggest autism advocacy in the country, actually.
Hmm.
And, I just feel like with this platform, I can really spread awareness and really get the attention of lawmakers, educational sectors, or even private sectors to really at least give them the time of day to really acknowledge their needs because they do have special needs.
Hmm.
And Miss Universe is one of those platforms that can do that to give me a platform to speak about that, a voice to be
Absolutely.
heard. But other than that, I am very um, mental health is something that really holds a deep part of my soul
Hmm.
because I have different family members that have been diagnosed with mental disabilities.
Hmm.
First, immediate family members, actually.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why I took up psychology. I still want to be a psychiatrist also, but it's just married together autism, mental health, because it
Yes.
all involves, your mental health as a whole, what autistic kids deserve, what people with mental disabilities deserve also. And
Hmm.
actually, just to touch on this new company that I am starting, I
Yeah.
really want to use that platform to also give my advocacy is a future proof technology to kind of fast track the advancements that I can give to them and provide them also. And all of this is possible if I have a platform to speak on. And that's why I really want to utilize the Miss Universe platform also.
Absolutely. I agree with you. It's such an important matter. It's such an important issue that we should bring more awareness and we should bring more visibility to. And sometimes I feel like a lot of the lack of support for these things is because people don't know necessarily about the issues or
Exactly.
don't know how to help or get involved. Um, so you doing all that
People
work
people
and
don't realize that in the
Mhm.
past, um, the rate of an autistic kid being born was 1 to 500, but
Wow,
nowadays it's 1 to 50. So one in
wow,
every 50 kid is born autistic,
hmm,
and of course the spectrum is so broad.
of course.
And as long as you give them early intervention, if you give them their special needs when they're growing up, then all of that can be prevented.
Hmm.
I mean, they can have the quality of life that they deserve.
Absolutely. I loved your cause. I admire you for pursuing it, and I trust you with it because I know that it's so close to your heart as well. So
Yeah.
we're
That's the
all
advocacy I brought to Miss World also, and it was part of
yeah,
the BWAC finals.
yes. And this is the one when you competed in Miss World. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you won the Beauty with a Purpose category, didn't you? Or you
Yes,
placed?
I was part of the finalists for that.
Finalist. Okay,
Yes.
yes. I remember. I remember. So I was doing my little research and I was like, this is so amazing, and it's something that, I always double check these things as well, but you stayed consistent with it, because so many beauty queens in certain cases, not to drop any names, but sometimes they join a pageant, they have an advocacy, and then when the pageant is over, the advocacy is over.
It's gone.
Yeah,
We
that
have a
was not
term
your
for
case at
that.
all. Huh?
It's called instant noodle advocacies.
Mhm.
Not to drop any names.
Not to drop any names. I love that. Well, that's definitely not your case. I can attest to that. Can you tell me a little bit about this company that you talked about? I think it's very interesting. Is it about NFT you said?
Yes, so it's NFTs and it's blockchain based. We're not
Wow,
trying to make a currency or anything,
of
it's
course.
just utilizing the technology.
Mhm.
Actually, my first collection is really aimed towards empowering Filipino artists.
Okay.
So, and each kid that's drawn onto these art pieces are inspired by the different advocacies that I am supporting also.
Hmm.
It's based on kids, and we're still working on the technicalities of potentially attaching a game towards it,
Yeah, yeah.
so like a play to learn game instead of, if you've heard like this axie phenomenon and all of that,
Yes.
it's more play to earn.
Hmm.
But the game that I'm conceptualizing, it's play to learn, to
Yeah.
create an all-inclusive kid-friendly metaverse. And it's really geared towards really just empowering kids and really giving another source of income for the advocacies, because majority of the profits will be donated. So
Okay. That's such a clever way to like even think of
I can,
contributing to the advocacy. I never thought
yeah,
of
I can show you some
that.
of the art if you want.
Oh,
It'll
of
be the
course.
first time that I'm showing it
Please.
online.
Oh my God, guys, this is an exclusive. Come on now.
Just a little peek.
Of course.
Let me try and find it somewhere on my phone. So usually, a lot of the art pieces, and I'm not gonna claim that we're the only one doing hand painted
Mhm.
NFT art,
Of course.
but we're doing thousands of hand painted NFT art, which
Wow.
is amazing because the artist that we're actually working with is actually now featured in the Bencab Museum, which is a
Mhm.
really famous museum here in the Philippines, if you didn't know.
Okay.
So we're so lucky to be able to work with him. So as you can see here, trying to be careful not to show you my whole deck. So here, it's my advocacy collection. I
Oh,
think it's too
advocacy
bright.
collection. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And these are different kids. with different advocacy themes.
That's
And these are
amazing.
all hand painted by Marius Black.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love it.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Honestly, it's such an innovative way of like even thinking of it. And I feel like it serves like so many different, purposes. Like it's new technology, so you're like educating people at the same time
Yes.
for a great cause, and that's awesome.
Possibilities are endless. And what
Exactly.
my company is really trying to do is trying to change the perception on how this technology is utilized. Because there are a lot of negativity surrounding it and uncertainty also, because there are a
Mhm.
lot of bad people in the world that
Yes,
misuse it because of lack of regulation. So I just kind of want to do a perception shift and say, hey, there are bad people, but there are also good people that are trying to use this technology for the better.
for sure.
And I'm trying to be one of them.
Well, good luck with that, and I
Thank
really cannot
you.
wait to see where it goes, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So, obviously, as you said, you have grown in the public eye pretty much since you were born. Um, but, and even like you working yourself in show business and being out there, do you still get affected by criticism? When people throw things at you that you maybe were not asking for?
I don't think anybody can criticize me worse than I criticize myself.
Really?
So, yes, of course, I always have a lot of respect for constructive criticism. Of
Yes.
course, I'm very used to filtering out the noise, especially from people that I don't value their opinion on. Because there are a
Mhm.
lot of people that just try to throw shade without even trying to
Mhm.
get to know you. But I
Yes.
do value constructive criticism.
Mhm.
And again, I do criticize myself the most because I am a somewhat of a perfectionist. But does it bother me? No, because I'm very secured about how I believe in myself and what I know I stand for. My moral
Yes.
compass is spot on.
Mhm.
So I'm not easily phased by negativity. Once I notice it, I just sage around my house and try to eliminate all of the bad energy.
I love it.
But of course, being in the public eye prior to joining the pageant,
Mhm.
it really helped me. I don't know if a lot of you know that Pia Wurtzbach actually was an actress before she was a beauty queen also.
Yes.
And I think the purpose of that, well not I'm not speaking on behalf of Pia, but on behalf of myself, it really helped my confidence in terms of speaking in front of people,
Mhm.
speaking in front of a camera or on a live camera, and really just performing in front of everyone as well. So it holds a great advantage, but there are pros and cons for being in the public eye.
Absolutely. I can imagine. Can I ask you? Um, so, of course, the only reason why I'm bringing up this question, right, is
Okay.
because based on previous years, so if we think of, for example, Rabia, if we think of Bea, at some point during the reigns, they had to deal with like public criticism or pressure or dealing with the expectations of the audience. So, if you were to find yourself holding the title, like representing the Philippines at Miss Universe, how would you deal with this type of pressure if at some point, for some reason, people were coming at you?
Block all the noise. Just block it off, because you were crowned the title. You were crowned Miss
Mhm.
Universe Philippines for a reason. Because on that night you were able to shine your brightest, and destiny really aligned for Rabia, for Bea, and hopefully for myself also. We're
Mhm.
all just hoping for destiny to come our way. And
Yes.
once you have that crown, then there is no taking that away from you, because
Yes.
you've proven yourself worthy. And of course, there will be a lot of negativity that will surround, but there will also be a lot of positivity that will come your way. So it's really up to me. Let's say I'm crowned Miss Universe Philippines. It's up to me on which side do I want to focus on. Do I want to focus on the positive side or
Yeah.
the negativity that's surrounding me? Because
Mhm.
again, there will be a lot of opinionated people, and we have no control over what they think or what they believe in. But what I do have control on, is my mindset and how much I believe in myself and how much I believe I deserved the title also.
Mhm.
Because all 50 of us girls are working our hardest to try to win that crown, and we're showcasing ourselves to the whole universe. So whoever's lucky enough to be crowned the next Miss Universe Philippines, I believe will really deserve it
Yes.
wholeheartedly.
Agreed. I agree with you. And also, as you said, I think that you put it perfectly that it's impossible to please everyone. Even if you
Yes.
try your absolute best and you excel in every single category, there will always be
Mhm.
someone out there who will criticize you for something. So at some point you have to close your eyes, don't listen anymore as well. Just rely
Exactly.
on your team, on your family, your friends, and just go for the gold. That's it.
I'm seeing a comment on the side. It says, "Haters always gonna hate."
That is so true.
It's true.
Preach. Come on, y'all. Preach. So let's talk a little bit about your look. You look so
Okay.
refreshed. You changed the hair length.
Yes.
It's just like a new version of Michelle.
Mhm.
Um, it's showing us a little bit more of your fear side, but it also
Yeah.
gives you a little bit of mystery. What was the strategy, the aesthetic that you were going for when you decided to change your styling?
Well, there wasn't really a strategy. I really just
Mhm.
wanted to cut my hair.
Really?
So I was shooting for a TV series
Uh-huh.
late last year, and right after, the day
Yes.
after I got home from my bubble, I cut it short from almost past my bra line to my shoulder length
Mhm.
because I was so set on cutting my hair. I wanted a new look. I was so tired of my long hair. Also, I felt like I just wasn't comfortable anymore.
Yeah.
And then when I finally decided to join Miss Universe, my hair was still up to here. And then I was shooting for my application photo.
Mhm.
And then when I entered the studio, my team was like, I think we need to do something about your hair. Because yes, it's short, but maybe it's not short enough to
Mm.
really make a statement.
Yes.
And my makeup artist, Dave Kiambao, he's been advocating for a bob cut for months, and I just wasn't courageous enough to sport a bob because I've never done it before. Like, this is
Yes.
probably my shortest since 10 years old or 12 years old when I was part of the varsity or something. And then my hairstylist at the time, Anton Papa, he is also known for cutting hair.
Mhm.
And then he was like, okay, I'll do some magic. Then he started from the back
Oh,
forward.
there's no
He
going
was
back
just
after
like,
that.
trust me. And then as soon as he did it, I was like, it looks so good. It really looked good. And I think it was perfect because I was worried that it wasn't going to fit my face shape.
Mhm.
But then once I saw it, it really worked and I really
Yes.
started loving it. And now every time I try on long hair extensions, I feel like it doesn't represent my personality well enough anymore.
Mhm.
So it's somehow a blessing in disguise, also,
Yes.
where, you know, the universe just pushes you in the right direction.
Absolutely. You look stunning, beautiful, modern. I love it.
Thank you,
Very
thank you.
youthful. And this is coming
I'm
from a gay
hoping
man, so it's true. Huh?
I'm hoping to be the first Miss Universe Philippines sporting short hair.
Well, you never know.
We'll
Manifesting
see.
it, putting it out there.
We'll see.
So talking about, the looks and the aesthetics, of course, I would have to mention as well the challenges so far. So every single challenge that you gave us had like a flawless production, concepts, everything
Thank you.
was, perfect. So the first part of the competition is officially over, like the
Yes.
online challenges. So now everything else is gonna be more like we get to see you like on stage and national costumes and
Yes.
preliminaries and all of that. How, I mean, if any, how are you planning? What is your strategy to keep up that same level of excellence and like
Mhm.
success rate when you translate that on stage?
Well, to touch on the challenges, actually, I loved shooting it. I
Mm-hmm.
am such a creative at heart, and my
Mm.
whole team and my closest friends, they're all creative. So the videos where you think I have this whole production team, it only
Yeah,
just falls under like two people that
really.
are so skilled in what they do that they're
Wow.
able to execute at that kind of level. And it was just such a joy to see because I come up with my scripts, I come up with the shot lists and concepts and all
Mhm.
of that, and then I bring the team together and ask, hey, what are your thoughts on this? are we able to execute on this level? Of course, there were a lot of hiccups along the way where some people just weren't working as efficient as they should be, which caused
Mhm.
delays and stuff. But with those delays, we've been able to come up with better results also. So it was such a joy making the challenges and just experiencing everything, of course. I think all candidates were kind of rattled with the time frame that was given to all of
Yes,
us. But it's preparation, I guess, for the international pageant where you don't really know what to expect, and more often than not, you're time pressured to do something.
exactly.
But to talk about the next stage of the pageant, I think this is where people really see, me on
Mhm.
stage and really seeing an unfiltered Michelle.
Exactly.
Because I believe that the challenges are important, but nothing beats how important the preliminaries are and the
Mm,
finals night are.
mhm.
And everything that we've showcased throughout the pageant is showing different aspects of our personality, different
Exactly.
aspects of our capabilities also to become Miss Universe. So we're done with the glitz, we're done with the runway, the videos, but now it's really talking about our designers, our walk, and really seeing us in front of the camera, no edits, no filters, and just showing everybody who we really are. And my strategy is really just to trust in my training,
Mhm.
trust in my advisors, and just give it everything I have.
Absolutely. I love that. And honestly, as you said, it's right now. Now is the time to show the technique and the hard work, other than,
Yes.
the creative work, of course, that went into all of the challenges. But now, in collaboration with the designers and the trainers and all, it's really to, go ahead and
Yes.
conquer the
Because
pageant, get the crown.
that's what we've all been training for, is the
Exactly.
second half of the pageant.
Absolutely. So we're heading towards the very last part of the interview. I have
Oh,
two more questions for you.
oh
Yeah.
no.
So can we still like stay for like 2 more hours? So before I go ahead and ask you those questions, I'm just going to invite the audience. If you guys want to submit some questions, maybe I will pick one or two very quick questions, please, because I don't want to take too much of Michelle's time. And I will ask her some of your questions as well. But in the meantime, while they type, can you tell me, without revealing anything compromising, of course, in 3 words, how would you describe what is yet to come for your Miss Universe Philippines journey?
Ooh. In 3 words, no specific order,
Up to you completely.
competitiveness, for
Mm,
sure. Hmm. I think we'll see a lot of advocacy there
okay.
too. And oh my gosh, my last answer is going to be 3 words. Um, and commitment.
Commitment. Ooh, I
Mhm.
love that.
Oh my gosh, my
That's
phone is
perfect.
like ringing. Let me
It's
just
okay.
answer
Yeah,
that
for sure.
quick.
You go for it. I'll go get the questions in the meantime.
I am so sorry, Luis. Like
No,
I've
it's all
been
good.
going off camera since our whole technical check earlier.
It's all good. That gave me enough time to pick a few questions for you. So I have one here that is very good. So they say, after all the challenges, who do you think are your closest competitors to win the crown at this point? Can you name a few of them, please? Just like a few names that
Okay.
come to mind.
I really think my biggest competitors this year are the girls that have previous pageant experience already,
Hmm.
especially international pageant experience.
Hmm.
So that would be Celeste Cortesi, Katrina
Yes.
Legado, and I think there are more than like five previous pageant veterans. But I think Celeste and Katrina are the ones that competed internationally, and that gives them such a competitive edge because just like me with international experience, there are things that happen on stage that you can't prepare for.
Mm.
And for those that have experienced that, you know what to expect and you know how to prepare for that.
For
And of
sure.
course, since that's one of the advantages I'm bringing to the table, that's something they're bringing to the table also. Of course, I'm never going to discredit the fact that they're both so beautiful, they're smart and talented also.
Mhm.
So I think on the finals night, I think it really will just boil down to luck and destiny.
Oh, I love that. That was a very good answer.
Thank you.
Okay, so my friend Diana Yamas is here, and she's asking, what do you do to calm your nerves during competition time? So
Okay.
whenever you're in the middle of it all, how do you calm yourself?
So let me tell you this. Backstage, that's when my nerves build up. Like I have so
Mm.
much like before stepping onto any stage actually, whether it's a pageant stage or showbiz, like I have massive anxiety backstage. Like my palms are sweaty, like I'm sweaty. But once I'm on stage, one of my fears is getting embarrassed. So once I'm on stage, I focus on the lights and I focus on the people, and then suddenly everything goes quiet.
Mhm.
And all I can see is myself and where I have to go. And I think that's something that I learned when I was in theater in grade school. When I had to be on stage for the first time with so much light, that's when I learned how to block the noise and
Mm,
not get distracted and really just have tunnel vision, if I may.
yes.
And of course, it comes with experience also. I've put myself in a lot of situations that make me nervous. But I have this belief that, would you rather be brave or fearless? And I would always choose brave because you're brave enough to conquer your fears. And that's something that I've been doing time and time and time again, is just getting used to that feeling.
Absolutely. And whenever you're about to go on stage, if anything comes to mind, like insecurities whatsoever, don't be scared of like technical issues. The entire team got you. You got this.
Yeah.
If there's bashers in the audience, just think of me with my chinelas hitting everyone, just making sure that
Right.
everyone's rooting for you. So no need to worry.
Another good trick is, and I've never told anyone this yet, is when I'm in the shower in
Yeah.
my bathroom, that's like my safe space. I make these little spiels as if
Mm.
I pretend that I'm in the moment of like a stage or whatever, and then I'm answering questions. Of
Yeah.
course, it's an acting technique that I learned when I was learning how to act, but it really helps because you feel like you're in the moment, even if I'm just in my bathroom.
Yeah. You get to prepare
It really
mentally.
prepares me.
I love that. Well, last question from the audience before I ask you my final and I think the most important question as well. So, all right, this one, they're asking, what is your favorite Filipino food? Come on, educate this foreigner.
Ooh, ooh. So I love Filipino food. It's my favorite cuisine, but I would never say no to a good sour, salty sinigang.
What is that?
Sinigang is a sour dish here in the Philippines, where it's like a sour, hearty broth. And I love spicy and sour food. Actually, I love the three S's: sour, salty, and spicy.
Mm.
So sinigang is my favorite food.
Whenever I visit, I gotta try it. It's on my list
You
now.
have to. You have to.
All right.
I'm sure there's a big budding Filipino community where you are. So we can just ring up one of those Filipinos. Hey, send my boy Luis some
Oh, they
sinigang.
know me already. Like I'm every day like ordering from the restaurant. Like, hello,
Yon, there you
it's me
go.
again. Perfect. So, very last question of the
Let's go.
interview, and I think it is the most important as well. So,
Right.
it's very, very simple. Why should you be the next Miss Universe Philippines? Why Michelle?
I believe that I really deserve to be the next Miss Universe Philippines because through the years, everything I've done has to have purpose. And I really want to utilize this platform to do good and to really show through example that we shouldn't use fear to hide behind not achieving your goals or not going after what you want.
Mhm.
We're all empowered, and I want to be somebody that really embodies empowerment of a Filipino beauty or a Filipino woman. And we all actually have something uniquely beautiful to showcase. And that's what I'm trying to do also. And that's why I deserve to be the next Miss Universe Philippines.
Oh, I love that. Mic drop.
Thank
Everyone, please give it up for Michelle. You know, one thing that I always mention about you on every single one of the videos that I made about Miss Universe Philippines so far, I said, she's beautiful, she looks confident, fierce, everything that you
thank
want. And
you.
I always said, I feel like I don't know her yet. Like, I don't know her yet. But after this interview, I feel like I know you. I see the facial beauty, the physical beauty, and the internal beauty as well. I'm a fan now, okay?
Aw,
So,
thank you. I actually saw that video. You were calling me out.
yes, I was like, we
You
need to
call,
know
I
her.
answer.
Yes, exactly. Here she is, everyone. I hope that everyone
Thank you.
enjoyed this video and that you got to know Michelle a little bit better. Don't forget to vote. Don't forget to show some support. Michelle, what do you want them to take from this interview? How can they support you on your journey?
Yeah, so everybody watching, familiar and unfamiliar usernames over in the side, thank you so much for constantly supporting me on this journey and for every journey I've embarked on. I'm doing this all for you. Of course, I wouldn't be where I am now if it weren't for the people who believed in me. So thank you. But also, please don't forget to follow me on my social media accounts. That's at Michelle Dee on Instagram, and most importantly, during this competition, my Kumu, which is MUPH22 Michelle. So thank
Perfect.
you so much, Louise. It's
My
been so
absolute
fun chatting with
pleasure.
you.
Come back for another interview when you're crowned, okay?
Yes,
Follow
yes.
up.
I'm glad we pushed through with today because next week is going to be, I don't know.
Hectic, I imagine.
We have
Yeah.
yet to find out.
All right. Thank you once again for joining me,
Thank
everyone,
you.
as well, for staying with us until the end. And I'll see you soon with more interviews and more fun videos.
I'll
So
see you
take care.
soon.
All right,
Mwah.
everyone. Kisses. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.